many participants, ma'am, today?
64. They are joining in. Just we have started with the session.
And they are from first year to final year?
Yes, all years.
Okay.
Yes. So, good morning one and all. I, Assistant Professor Mayura Sabne, welcome you all to this guest lecture series. And this guest lecture is specifically concentrated on the career challenges in the corporate field in the post-COVID era. Today, I will welcome CS Kavita Sethi Jain ma'am for this session. And now I will request Kranti Deshmukh ma'am, our principal, to give the welcome speech.
Yeah, thank you, Mayura madam. I extend my warm welcome to Kavita Jain madam. Madam, I heartily welcome you. I'm very thankful to you for accepting our invitation. The topic which you have chosen today is very important. Now, in post-COVID period, what all challenges are there in the legal field? Students should be briefed about it. Those who are willing to join corporate, how now they should make changes in their own structure or in their own knowledge. That is more important, and I think you will guide us on this topic today. So without taking much time, once again I welcome you on behalf of Marathwada Mitra Mandal Shankaraj Savan Law College. I also welcome all participants of this guest lecture and coordinator of this guest lecture, Mayura madam. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam, for this welcome address. Now, I will briefly introduce our today's guest speaker, CS Kavita Sethi Jain ma'am. She has been a fellow member of the Institute of Company Secretaries in India. She has multiple qualifications. She has the degree of LLB Honors, MCOM, and she is the insolvency professional from Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India. She has an extensive experience of 22 years in the field of legal and secretarial practice and has worked with many listed and non-listed companies. From April 2008 till May 2017, she was a part of the prestigious Tata Group companies and headed the legal and secretarial functions, including compliance management, contract management, and corporate litigations. In June 2017, she turned entrepreneur with Jain and Birla, enhancing their service portfolios. Besides her expertise in the fields of company law matters, negotiating, drafting, and finalizing domestic and international contracts, compliance and management, and insolvency and bankruptcy matters, she also conducts gender-based training and awareness sessions on prevention of sexual harassment at workplace. She has been a chairperson of the Internal Complaint Committee for the Prevention of Sexual Harassment and a member of Ethics Committee of TAL Manufacturing Solutions Limited, a Tata entity, and handled several cases to successful conclusion. She was an in-house trainer for Tata Code of Conduct, Corporate Governance, and Prevention of Sexual Harassment at Workplace. She has been recipient of several recognitions and awards. Few of them are excellent performer in the field of compliance management by Legacy Service Private Limited in the presence of Bharat Ratna, Mr. Sachin Tendulkar. Best manager of the BCC Group, Train the Trainer by TL Manufacturing Solutions Limited, Posh and Ethics Quiz winner at Tata BlueScope Steel Limited, and she has acted as a panel member and wrote an article on the critical subject Compliance by Choice. She conducts workshops on the awareness of sexual harassment for employees at all levels, including senior management, and sessions of the Internal Complaint Committee on the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace, Prevention, Prohibition, Redressal Act 2013. She believes that a genuine understanding of the subject among employees makes an organization a better workplace, and hence recommends awareness programs on these subjects at regular intervals in each and every organization. On professional front, she has always been appreciated for her work ethics, robust board practices, and problem-solving attitude. Thank you, ma'am, for accepting our invitation and gracing this occasion. Now, without spending too much time, I hand over the mic to you to guide our students on this current topic.
Thank you so much, madam, for such an elaborative introduction, and a very warm good morning to all the students. And I indeed thanks to the Marathwada Mitra Mandal Shankar Rao Chauhan College, Principal Madam, and a special thanks to Mayura Madam for giving me this opportunity once again to interact with you all. So I hope you all are doing good within your houses with your family members. Nothing is speaking much about other areas. Let us concentrate on the topic which has been allotted to me for today's discussion. And I hope the communication medium should be English or a combination of Hindi and English both. Will it be okay with you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. English
Okay.
will do, no problem.
Okay, fine. So the topic is career challenges in the corporate field post-COVID era. So first of all, being a lawyer, one question comes to my mind, that why only the career in the corporate field? You know, the world is open for us. But somehow the youth always inclined to choose corporate as a career making field. And I tell you, when in fact 22 years back, when I passed out my law degree and along with my company secretaryship course, I had two choices in my hand, either to join as a practicing lawyer in the court field or join a corporate. So I was also fascinated towards the corporate world, and I chose to join this field. But you know, after spending almost 22 years in this field, one fine day I thought, now what? अच्छा पैसा है, अच्छी position है, you know, you are enjoying the life, but whether it is something which I am looking for. And then I felt, no, I have much more to do. And then I quit my job from Tata's and formed my own firm called Jain & Birla. And I tell you, when today I cater to my clients in the various fields, being a lawyer, I'm saying, you know, right from suggesting on their insolvency and bankruptcy matters, contract negotiation and drafting, you know, the issuing power of attorneys, or, you know, drafting various legal documents, there is no limit. So point I'm trying to make here is, you know, it's you being a lawyer, it's not that only the corporate is an area for career making. You can act as a freelancer, you can join a law firm, you can do research in the field of law, you can be self-employed, whatever you want. The world is open for you. Yeah? Anyways, let's move to the topic. So before we talk about the challenges in the corporate world post-COVID era, let's understand that what is the situation today. You know, there is a firm, British research firm called Crosby Textor. They did a survey last month across various geographies, and they found that all percent they were extremely worried about their job losses. What I'm trying to tell here is that when they did this, 6% of those surveyed, they were losing their job post-COVID-19 lockdown. And if you compare this number, this fear was only 31% and yeah, reasonably high, 71% amongst Hong Kongers. Hong Kong actually has their own set of political issues, and they are worried about losing their job as a different perception altogether. But in India, within 2 to 3 weeks of the first lockdown, people were so much worried. And if you look at the job status of these countries, pre-lockdown and post-lockdown, you know, it's very important to give you these facts. And these are not just the number which I am just throwing like this. These are based on the research which has been published. So if you know that India today is a population of around 130 crore people, use, and of this about 75%, means 138 crore ka 75%, about 100 plus crore are said to be in the working age. And this working age, as per the global norm, is calculated 15 years plus people. 15 year plus भी इसलिए बोलते हैं because if you look at abroad, वहाँ पर जब you know one child becomes 16 years of age, he starts living independently. वो खुद ही अपनी education sponsor करता है और खुद ही कमाता भी है. Unlike our Indian culture, where parents sponsor the entire education until the graduation and post-graduation, until the child become 23 or 24 years old. So out of 130 crore, 100 plus crore people are of working age today in this country. Okay, but if we look at the Indian norms, जहाँ पर हम कहते हैं कि actually में how many people are qualified to be employed. So among those numbers, pre-lockdown in February 2020, 40.40 crore people were employed. And that time, 3.4 crore people were estimated to be unemployed. Yeah. But when the first lockdown was announced by the government in the country, it flagged some alarming numbers. The employment numbers of this country came down from 40 crores to 40.4 crores to 28.5 crores, a drop of 11.9 crores within 2 weeks of the first lockdown. And if we take a round number, it is almost 12 crores. The situation is really alarming, and probably you are not able to digest this number, and this number is not given by me. This number has been published by one of the leading companies, which is called Center for Monitoring Indian Economy. In short, it is called CMIE, and these numbers have been published by them. So this is the status of our country in terms of employment, pre-lockdown and post-lockdown. So I hope you are getting the flavor that what would be the scenario after 3 months or 4 months when the lockdown will be over. So now let us understand that what are the kind of challenges people will be facing in the corporate world. Severe job losses, no apologies. You know, from Italy to Germany, I would say rather from India to Italy and Germany to Ghana, this COVID lockdown has closed businesses and kept billions of people homebound for weeks. And this translates into huge job losses. It may sound better, but it's a fact. So we need to accept one fact, and it is a sad part of today's reality, that the job losses are going to be across the board, across level, across industries, and across geographies. Of course, there are certain sectors like IT and IT-related services. You know what? Industries like travel, tourism, aviation, hospitality, and food. And I would also say retail. They are and they will be impacted severely, universally. The second impact and the challenge which I see is the salary cut for many who do retain their jobs. You know, you must be having your family members or relatives, and you must have heard saying them that इस महीने तो 30% कट होके salary मिला है, 50% कट होके salary मिला है. And this is the reality of today. You know, more and more companies are trying to ensure their continued survival by cutting cost. And when we say cutting cost, how the cost can be cut? One of the major components is reducing the salary, because it's a fixed cost for the companies. Okay, so when I talk to my colleagues and my other relatives, you know, one general feeling comes that if you are lucky to retain your job, even with the reduced salary, it's best to hang on, because job opportunities outside appear slim or nil post-COVID, immediately after 1 year. The third challenge which I see is the impact on the older employees or mid-level employees. They are more at risk. My corporate experience is that, you know, the normal HR policy, the human resource policy in a company is last fired, first hired. मतलब जिसको सबसे last में आपने hire किया है, if required, that person has to be removed at first. But this COVID-19 is an equal opportunity disease, and it actually is reversing the HR policy. You know, if a company wants to cut the cost, in my view, the first possible victims are likely to be the older employees because they are more expensive due to their number of years of experience in the business. I might sound little negative, but what I'm trying to tell you is the reality of today's world. Another challenge which I foresee is unwarranted situation for new joinees at work. Most of the companies, the big multinational companies, they hire fresh graduates as intern or trainees every year through placement. So this year, most of the companies who had freshly hired people, they are putting their joining on hold. If you have heard, Gartner, an American company, withdrew its job offers to 11 IIT students from Delhi, Kanpur, and Madras, and 6 IIM Calcutta students. These institutes and the people who pass their qualification from these institutes, they are the cream, and they are always hired by the big multinational companies. So if these big companies are holding the appointment of the new fresh graduates, we can think of the reality in other fields as well. Frontline jobs will lose attraction. I need not to explain this. We are reading every day in the newspaper that how the people, frontliner people like police and medical staff, they are suffering. Otherwise, if you look at medicine and police, these are the functions, or these are the areas which are quite attractive for youth. Okay, but I feel these professions are likely to lose some of their shine if the work conditions and their safety concerns are not adequately addressed by the government. You might think, "Arey, madam, police thodi corporate world mein aata hai, but medicine come." And I'm talking in terms of the overall employment scenario of our country. So in nutshell, not speaking too much, if I say, what would be the impact on job futures? The first and very important, the salaries. You cannot think of having a fixed salary for a longer term. Anxiety, frustration, helplessness, entrepreneurs at risk, and startups will falter. And by saying entrepreneurs at risk, if you look at today's scenario, many of the companies are not working. The manufacturing entities, they are not able to open their factories, or they are working at the capacity of 10% and 33%. So if there is no production, first of all, if there is no demand, there is no sale. And if there is no sale, why the company will produce the goods? So the company and the entrepreneurs, they are facing a lot of risk and market challenges. And another area from where our country is actually growing, because we talk about Make India, and our country and our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, he is promoting startups like anything. But again, because of this COVID-19, the research says that if the situation continue to go like this, only 10% new startup will survive after a year or so. For the reason, because every startup needs investment in terms of money. So if there is no market, why somebody will invest money in that startup? And if there is nobody to invest money in the startup, how the startup will run? So there is a great chance that a startup will have to look more other options rather than going in the conventional way. This scenario which I'm talking, probably not liked by you, but you being the youth of this country need to understand and accept the reality that this is what this COVID-19 has brought in for all of us. So you feel unhappy, whatever I have shared with you? No need to be, because every challenge throws multiple opportunities for growth and betterment. And so is this COVID-19, correct? So let's see, because of this COVID-19, what are the areas and the options open for you, for your growth in terms of career or otherwise? But before we talk about it, let us understand that which are the industries which will be less impacted because of this despite this COVID-19 situation. We all know IT and ITEs, IT related services, IT enabled related services, news and entertainment industry, finance and banking, pharma medicine, FMCG, and online education and remote learning. In my view, these are the industries which will be less impacted even if the COVID goes for a longer period. And one can foresee his or her future in these fields. Now, as I was talking about that, what opportunities this COVID-19 has thrown for all of us. So first and very important, greater opportunities for women, we call it work from home. Yeah. I was talking to some people a few days back about this, on the issues of this COVID-19. And I said, the major silver lining of this coronavirus has been the boost to women's employment opportunities. What we working women want in India specifically, flexible work, work from home in particular, according to me, will help women return to work after having their babies. But every coin has two sides, right? So what happens that when you are given certain facilities to perform your job, sometimes it is misused as well. So when I was looking at some of the slides, I found this one quite interesting. So look at this young lady. She has been allotted the work from home. She logged in the computer at 9 a.m. as per the specified time. At 9:12, she's like sleeping. And when I showed this to my daughter, that this is what you do when I ask you to study. So after 10-15 minutes, you are in sleep. So the point here is that when the facility is there for the women or for men for that matter, it is very important to use this facility to the best of your abilities and not to misuse it. The second very, very important opportunity which this COVID has given to us is gig economy jobs. And we have seen that it's an upstick now. I hope you understand what is gig economy. Gig economy means, the temporary, the task-based assignment. Or if I explain it, like gig employees or gig workers include self-employed, freelancers, or part-time workers. So, one can see a shift from a full-time 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 job to an on-demand, freelance, and task-based work. So see, for example, I have particularly shown the picture of this young lady that suppose I am working on an article and I want some research in the field of legal or the high court decisions, high court judgments. And I want that these are the 10 judgments which has to be analyzed by somebody. This is not a permanent job, but I need the help and I'm going to pay for it. I can hire any fresh law graduate who will do this job for 10 or 15 days or a month as per the requirement, and he will be getting the money. So it's not that 9 to 5 full-time job for a year or so, somebody has to be given. So it's a win-win situation for both, for the freshers and for the employers as well, that I'm not committed for a long-term fixed cost, and at the same time, the employee's need is being fulfilled. So the study says this current pandemic may further open up this gig economy with work from home and flexi timing being too much of advantages. And to tell you, India has emerged as the 5th largest country for flexi staffing after US, China, Brazil, and Japan. Because one, our population is very high. Number two, our women are very, very talented, but because of their home responsibility, even of today, when we talk about the equal opportunity and all, if they are given this kind of facility to work from home, to give them task-based assignment, their talent can be used and they can earn money. So one really see a big opening and big growth in gig economy jobs opportunities. more employment in smaller town. जब मैं अपने क्लाइंट से बात करती हूँ आजकल तो I have observed one thing, that now suddenly the small towns have become focus for HR heads. Why? Because now everybody is working from the remote places. One doesn't need that somebody has to travel all the way from Satara to Mumbai to sit in the office and work, right? So if you are not living in a big city, your cost of living is very low. So when your cost of living is very low, you can satisfy yourself with a reasonably low income. Okay, and at the same time, what the employer wants, lower the cost. So today the HR is focusing more on the smaller town, more on the talents which are sitting idle in the remote places, and then they can work for those companies. A lot of job opportunities are being created for those people who do not want to leave their hometown, maybe Sangli or Satara or a remote place. Okay, but still, if they want to serve, if they want to work in the corporate field, now this opportunity is available from them amply. Teaching and learning turned remote. Actually, the virtual everyday classroom is already a reality. And I think for most of the teachers, it's a new experience, and so is for the students. But, nothing should be stopped if one issue is coming. And that's why the education app like Byju's, Topper, Vedantu, Unacademy, they are likely to gain power in the field of education. See, education is also a big business, and that's why it is called a corporate business nowadays. And if you know, India is over 4,000 education app startup. Okay, and if I give you the exact number, is almost 4,450 startups in the field of education apps. So business for sure will boom for these kind of education apps, and so also the job opportunities in the remote learning. So ऐसा नहीं है कि दिस पैंडेमिक की वजह से अगर आप बड़ी कंपनीज में या बड़े सिटीज में ट्रैवल नहीं कर पा रहे हो तो आपके लिए जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज नहीं है. देयर आर नंबर ऑफ एरियाज. यू हैव टू एक्सपांड योर आर्म्स, यू हैव टू एक्सपांड योर आईज एंड वेंचर इनटू इट. New job opportunities in the field of data literacy, data science, data analytics, and data visualization. When I say data, it's directly correlated with computers, internet, and uses of internet in various ways. And can we imagine our life without technology today? And again, when I say technology, I'm actually here talking about the uses of internet. So when I say data literacy, data science, or data analytics, one question might pop up in your mind when you say कि अरे हम तो data engineer नहीं है ना, we are the law graduates. How can we act like a data engineer or data science? Let's see what I'm coming to, where I'm coming to. More and more uses of internet is creating more and more crime. I think I need not to explain that the excessive use of social media, the excessive use of internet, the excessive use of data has given so many criminal things in this world. And when there is a crime, there is a law. And where there is a law, there has to be a lawyer. So even if you are not a computer engineer or you do not come from a science background, your legal knowledge gives you, or your legal degree gives you ample opportunities in the field of cyber law. And this is today's world, and going forward, it will give ample opportunities to all of you to work as an auditor for the cyber crimes, or as a compliance checklist maker, or the policy makers, or even as a routine employee in any organization. So there are laws, the IT Act 2000 or the Personal Data Protection Bill 2019. So if you develop your skill to the greater extent which is required for this field, so basic knowledge of computer, which is backed up by your legal education, gives you rather better job opportunities than usual in the field of cyber law. And not only in India, I tell you, there are multinational companies. So when they work globally, so if some US based company has given some job assignment to an India based person, their system has to be backed up with all the regulations. Okay. And who does or who knows the regulation better than a lawyer? So I have a couple of friends who are working as system checker, as policy maker, as auditor from the governance point of view in the field of cyber law. So the current situation actually offers you better job opportunity as a lawyer. So we have talked about that, what was the status before COVID? What is the status after the lockdown? What could be the challenges during this lockdown period and post-lockdown period? And most importantly, what are the opportunities available for all of you? This COVID actually has given us an opportunity to live the life in a digital way. Whatever we are doing, I think the maximum portion of our life is being lived, or the maximum day of our life is being spent digitally, So I found this quite interesting that somebody raised a question that who led the digital transformation of your company? Generally, जब transformation की बात होती है तो हम leaders का नाम लेते हैं, right? The chief executive officer or chief technical officer. But the right response was this COVID-19 actually transformed the company from a conventional company to a digital company. So we being lawyers, we also need to think that there are not only the conventional way available for us, there are digital way also. So you can offer to your services not only a local based company, but a multinational company or a company based at abroad. What you need to do, you need to enhance your knowledge, you need to skill yourself, you need to understand that what are the digital requirements into this scenario. And I must tell you, sky is the limit for you. Having said that, what is important, to venture into the next step of your life, that is career building. Building the strength to succeed is a newer normal world. And what is that? Learn to adapt. You must have heard your parents saying that adjust karna सीखो. Without adjustment, there is no life. So वो लोग ऐसे ही नहीं कहते हैं. There is a reason behind it. So when you adapt yourself in a newer situation, there are less worries. So if today's situation demands that you have to work from home and you have to work on a various assignment, one point of time being a lawyer, you are drafting a power of attorney. The other day you are filing a petition. The third day you have to work on a contract negotiation. Then learn to adapt, learn to enhance your skill, okay, and then grow in the life. So it's very important that rather than being fixed into one area, you need to adapt yourself in different situations and move forward. Let me give you the way I have been told that there are various categories of students from first year to final year. Some of you might join to corporate world or some other institutions as intern or as an employee. So some pro tips for you guys. What is required? First of all, जब आपको नौकरी करने जाना होता है तो what is important? You must have a good CV. And when I say good CV, it doesn't mean that it should be 2-3 pages CV with good verbosum and with all those big things which probably you do not possess. So be truthful. Your CV should give a prompt understanding about your education, your skill, and your personality to the reviewer. At times it happens that people write, I'm fluent in English. Okay, and when I interview them, they are not able to speak 2 to 3 sentences. Don't write or don't say that I have done X thing, I have done Y thing, which actually you haven't done. So be truthful and write your CV in a decent manner, which gives a real picture of your personality. Okay. Don't keep benchmarking the past. जब हम बहुत सारे न्यू जनरेशन बच्चों को इंटरव्यू करते हैं एंड व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट देयर सैलरी, सो द आंसर कम्स, my friend has joined X company with this much of salary last year. But last year's scenario and this year's scenario is fairly different. Okay, and that person and you being an individual are also different. So don't benchmark that last year this much was the package, so I want this much or 10% plus of this much. Accept the reality of today's and move forward. Keep your ego in the refrigerator for a few months and don't put yourself in silo. Are you getting what I'm trying to tell here is? I've seen this young blood. Many of them are very brand conscious, I would say. Okay. And when I was talking to one of my relatives, she's also a law graduate, and she said, "No, aunt, I'm a brown girl. How can I be in such a small law firm?" So I said, well, you can either get a real and give the job a go, a yes, or it's becoming obsolete. So, ultimately what I'm trying to tell you is don't fix yourself in a particular one situation. Be open. Understand that this is what the reality is. And unless the market opens and the economy comes to the normal, what is available, which suits to your work style, grab that. Work on that, because every work gives you some experience, some knowledge, and it really helps you in your career moving forward. So I want X thing, I want Apple ka phone, and this 10,000 wala phone will not work for me. I think you have to relook into it. Very important. Be the multitasker. And I'm saying this because the conventional way of working of lawyer is fairly different. Okay, if we choose a field of to become a criminal lawyer, we work only that the field of criminal law. But today's scenario is if you're working from home, it's a gig-based economy, then probably you can be assigned to prepare a notice for a client under Section 138, or the other day you get a request from your client to prepare a petition for a civil matter, and third day there could be an IBC matter. So if you adapt yourself in current situation, you enhance your skill, and you become multitaskers like your mothers, working mothers, they take care of home, they take care of children, they do their job, they help your dad, they take care of your grandparents. Why can't you? Correct? So multitasking, I tell you, is an essential requirement post-COVID era. Last but not the least, there is no scope of getting frustrated, disappointed, unhappy. Accept the situation, is it in your control? Is it your parents' control? Why to get irritated for small things? Why are you so upset that you're not able to move out, roam around, with your friends, going out the malls and doing shopping? This station will go, and your mind will, this is the challenge, this is the opportunity available. So if I'm not able to move out, okay, let me sit in front of the computer, let me see to keep your mental health in a balanced way. I'm seeing my own children getting frustrated, and when I have enrolled them in for some of the courses, and now when they're occupied, they are more happy. In the corporate field, one very important thing which you being fresher should know, that conventionally मैं जब job करती थी तो I used to have a fight with my HR guys. They said, "Madam, you normally comes at 9 and leave by 6 because that was the office time." Whereas at the time of increment, they used to give preference to the other people who comes at 9 or who come at 9 and they are in the office till 9:30 or 10 p.m. So for them, people who are spending time more in the office, they are putting more efforts, they are more sincere, and that's why they should be paid higher. irrespective of the fact that what is the outcome of their so long sitting. But now this COVID has given this opportunity to become the employers more result oriented. So if one task is assigned to two different guys, the employer will reward to the person who gives the result in a lesser time to the employer. Okay, so there would be a big difference in terms of salary payment, efforts versus results. So no more conventional approach that how much time you are spending. What would be more important now, that how the results are being provided by you to the employer and whether it is suiting to their need. Okay, so kindly keep this in mind. So children, at the end of the session, I want to say that all you can change is yourself. And if you do that, sometimes that changes everything. And this saying is absolutely applicable in today's scenario. So rather than getting frustrated, adapt the reality, accept the reality, adapt yourself, and move forward in the life. So this my daughter has given me, that for now, just grin and bear it rather than chin and bear it. Smile. Thank you very much from my side. Thank you all, and I'm open for question and answer session.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, there are three questions in question and answer session. If you open it, you can see it. I will read it for you.
1 second.
Yes, question and answer.
I think you read it. I'm not able to see that.
Okay, ma'am. Can a fresher candidate given to job opportunities in every field for improvement of their career? That means the question is, can freshers be preferred even if they don't have the experience?
So if we specifically talk about the corporate world, you have no choice but to join as an intern. Okay,
Yes.
so it depends on the requirement of the company. So if there are criminal cases or civil cases or contract related activities, and if you become a part of that particular department, of course you will have ample opportunities to perform in any areas, and wherever you perform good, you will have opportunity to grow in that field. So I don't see any reason that you are not given a chance, but of course the appointment takes place in the legal function.
Yes. Another question is, how can we better prepare ourselves for corporate practice? Any suggestions related to the law field?
Corporate practice in the sense, as I said, that our legal field is a very vast field. And if I talk about my experience, सेल्स के बंदे को एक ईमेल भी समझ में नहीं आता है ना, तो बोलता है ये लीगल का काम है. एचआर को अगर कुछ पॉलिसी समझ में नहीं आती है तो ये लीगल का काम है. So legal itself is very vast. It's not only the court cases, it's not only the documentation, it's not only the policy making. It's a very vast field. So if you want to prepare yourself, it's very important that first of all you decide that in which field you want to work. Join that company or law firm, expertise yourself. But if you join a corporate, a big corporate as an intern, while performing multiple areas, or multiple tasks, probably it would give you a better understanding. Criminal ki bajay, I should opt, contract negotiation and drafting. That is more interesting for me. And then you will be able to take a leap further. I hope I'm able to tell you this thing. How to prepare means, first of all, you have to join and start working for them.
That's true.
Okay.
Yes. Another question is, how do we start preparing for the practicing IBC, insolvency law?
Insolvency law is that, first of all, you have to pass out the exam, which is conducted by IBBI, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India. But that requires some years of knowledge post graduation. Okay. So if you are really interested, you can join any law firm who practices in this field. You will have the basic understanding what this law offers. And if you know the basic documentation, and if you gain the knowledge in this field, and at the same time you spend the number of years qualification criteria, post that you can appear for the exam, get through it, and then you are qualified IB.
Yes. Another question, ma'am, is it necessary to do CS for entering into the corporate field of law?
Not really, but it's actually a perfect combination, the company secretary and the law degree, because the most important sector for the corporate lawyer or the company secretary rather is to handle the corporate law, which is company law. So if you are backed up with other laws or with law degree, actually what you get is an added advantage. That is, like I always acted as a legal head and company secretary. So I was company secretary requirement is mandatory in the corporate world when you know touches some threshold of paid up capital. And if you have the law degree, you become the master of two areas. One is the other laws applicable for the corporate, and the first one is the corporate law, which is the essential requirement to appoint a company secretary. So it's not necessary, but if you do that, your career will take a next leap.
Yes. The question has been asked by one of our LLM students. Would you recommend the law students to join the corporate in area like administration and then climb up the ladder like the other fields, legal manager and everything?
Yes, can be done. Good question it is. In fact, I have seen many of the law graduates, they join the IR department, Industrial Relation Department, which is a segment of HR function. So in IR, what you have to do is you have to handle the industrial relations, and there are a number of laws which are applicable for those industrial relation activities like factory act के बहुत सारे laws है, minimum wages act, factories act, bonus act, and all others, PF and IEPF and all other stuff. So when you practically do, and this IR comes as a part of administration. So when you join admin, actually you prepare yourself for 2-3 areas. One, being an admin, you know what are the laws applicable in your company. Being in the IR, you know in the manufacturing setup what are the compliances or statutory norms you have to fill in. And being working as a part of HR, you also know that what kind of policies you have to prepare or make for running the company. So it's a good idea that if you get an opportunity, you can join the admin function.
Yes. Ma'am, considering the current situation of COVID, for the batch who is graduating next year, should they aim for pursuing further studies due to the lack of the job, or should they continue pursuing for the job?
Well, I don't see that these kind of challenges should stop your studies. Okay, so studies should always go on if you want to do that. But of course, if you're looking for a job and if you're not getting the suitable job, you shouldn't sit idle. You should pursue further studies. And I don't see actually that people or the fresh law graduates won't be getting through or would be getting the jobs in the market. Not scenario could be that they might not be getting the way they want, but of course the jobs are available. Assignment basis jobs are available, interns are available, research based jobs are available. Because I'm saying so because I have been doing it. Okay, so things are available. You have to expand, you have to keep on doing research that what is available for you. So rather than thinking I have to study and not to pursue for a career or for job, I don't think so it's a good option. You should do some earning and then pursue your studies. Okay, that would give you both a confidence, earning, and your knowledge enhancement.
Right. I don't see any more questions herein. So anyone has the questions, they can put it in the chat box or the question answer. Otherwise, we will call off the session for today. I would like to thank Kavita Jain ma'am for enlightening us with these various perspectives during these challenging times, because these are very emerging times and the law students are too much confused about all these new challenges which are coming up in the corporate field. And as a placement in charge, what I see that they are more interested in the corporate field, but they are not getting good reviews
Options.
With respect to the joining the particular corporate field. They are not getting good ideas how to start with it. But ma'am has enlightened us through a very short and very beautiful presentation which is very applicable to each and every student from all the years. Thank you, ma'am, for enlightening us. I would like to thank our management for giving us an opportunity to arrange this session. Our principal, ma'am, for letting us to do all these online activities. She is always encouraging us to do all these activities. And last but not least, I will like to thank all the participants, all the attendees who have made this session more interactive one. Thank you. Thank you once again.
Thank you all and God bless you.